family home evening.
With bad Mormons.
We've prepared you a shredded carrot and raisin and mayonnaise salad for the occasion.
Sounds delightful, and will pair so well with this Morton's apple juice as we are celebrating today's 69th plus 1 episode.
Happy 70 episode, Charlotte.
69 plus 1.
Oh, is that how it's going to be? 69 plus 1, 69 plus 2, 69 plus 3.
Yes.
I like it. Let's do it. So, yes, welcome to the podcast. We have a little show where we tell you about
stuff we did when we were drunk, because we were raised Mormon, but we're not really good at being Mormon.
Also, we complain a lot about Republicans.
It's true. This is not a political podcast.
Except when it is.
Except for when it is.
We hate racists.
Sure do. We hate...
There was 2 more R's. What were they?
I was about to say Russians. I was like, that makes us racist.
Dang, we'll have to go back and listen to our own episodes and figure out what the 4 R's were. I was going to make a t-shirt. Republicans, racists.
Reprehensible behavior.
Nope. We'll come back to that.
All right. We'll repent next week, I'm sure.
Let's have a quick cheers. Because it's cold out here tonight.
It's cold outside. And we ran out of red wine, so we're on the whiskey train. Whoop, whoop.
That's yummy. I'm drinking Woodford Reserve Double Barrel.
I wish I would have. I went with Where Eagles May Dare, or whatever it's called.
Eagle Rare.
Yeah, Eagle Rare, and it's okay.
Do you want to try this one and compare it side by side?
You want to try this?
Because that one's much more expensive that you're drinking.
Yeah, I like yours better.
Yeah, me too. Give it back.
Rude. Okay, so
I want to give a quick shout out to our listeners in Texas.
Yes.
I know you guys have been on the roller coaster of abortion bullshit. It's banned. The ban is blocked. Oh, that block is blocked. So it's.
Oh, is that what's happening?
It's
I
back
haven't been paying attention.
Yeah, it's now back to now being blocked again.
Oh, good. Good.
No.
Oh,
the block is blocked.
Fuck. Jesus Christ.
I know. It's stupid. Anyways, so hang tough. Hang in there. Stay tough.
I was just talking to a client today that we're talking about kids and whatnot, and she was talking about how they want to have a second child, and that because she's over the age of 35, it is considered a geriatric pregnancy.
Yep, that's true.
So they have to test for that. Like, they have to test to make sure everything's okay. And she was maybe about 3 months into her pregnancy when she got the test saying that it wasn't just Down syndrome. Like, it's not just that. It was severe. I forget what it's called. She told me the name. It was like John Hopkins or something like that, where the child would die within a few months.
It's called incompatible with life. Right. There's a few different things that would.
But I mean, there was a name for the actual disease that the blood test had showed that it would have, right?
Got it.
And so she 100% without no regret, like, oh yeah, so we decided to terminate that because that's not fair to me, that's not fair to that child, and it's just unnecessary with technology, right?
Right.
So, and it was like, again, there's no shred of remorse there because that kid was gonna die anyways, and everybody involved, it would just be fucking horrendous.
Right.
And it might actually kill her in the process as well. So, fuck you, Texas.
Exactly.
Because in Texas, that wouldn't have been available to her.
Right. Yeah, dude, it's so fucked up. I mean, I can't imagine it's gonna last much longer.
Right.
Hopefully, but yeah, it's still just what a fucking shit show.
Right. But you're host body, so you don't have any choices.
Right. Do you have anything to repent for? Because I don't think I do. I think I'm pretty good.
I think I mean, as always, I'm sure there's plenty of things I should apologize for, but nothing's coming to mind.
Fair enough. Should we just go right into Mormon Corner? Because I have a list of fun facts about Utah that I thought you might want to hear before we talk about our Mormon recipe from the Mormon Trail Cookbook.
Sure.
Okay. I was like trying to find weird shit about Utah because I was kind of running out of my own memories. Well, I thought I was running out, and then just a whole bunch of shit got sparked today.
I love when that happens. You read about something else, you're like, that's why I usually have you tell your story first. If I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, then I'm like, oh yeah, that one time I did something stupid.
Turns out there's a lot of those.
But yeah, when you tell your story, it sparks a memory of my own dumb stories.
Okay. Well, here, did you know that the official state cooking vessel, there's an official state cooking vessel.
For every state?
In Utah, there is.
Or just Utah?
I didn't research other states. I have a feeling it's just Utah.
Okay.
Can you guess what the official state cooking vessel of Utah is?
Pyrex.
Nope. You know this.
Wait, okay. So, break it down for me. The cooking, tell me what it's going to...
It's a it's a cooking vessel.
So something you would not just serve things in, but you cook in it.
Yes.
Dutch oven.
Yes.
Yes! Because Dutch ovens fucking rule.
I thought you'd like that one. Here's another fun fact about Utah. It's the only state where every county contains some part of a national forest.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool.
Right? That's what I thought, too. We've joked around about how the state bird of Utah
is a seagull.
Is a seagull.
Yep.
We're like,
the sea.
Where's the fucking ocean? There
Right.
isn't one. It turns out, and I think I already knew this. I think they teach you this in school, but I forgot.
Because you didn't go.
I went.
I mean,
I'm actually the only one who graduated high school.
Actually, as soon as I said that, I was like, except for you're the only person who graduated from a proper high school.
Yes.
Me and Casey graduated from continuation schools, and everybody else got GEDs.
And I didn't even actually, I got my diploma, but I didn't even stay for the whole thing because I had enough credits.
Oh, nice.
So I didn't walk across the stage or do any
I
of
didn't
that
do
shit.
They offered it to me like, well, you graduated early, so you're going to have to wait, 4 or 5 months to walk with the class. I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that. Just mail it. I'm good.
Yeah, no, I got shit to do. Anyways, the seagull is the Utah state bird because I forget. It doesn't say what year. In 1847, seagulls helped save the lives of pioneers by consuming swarms of crickets that threatened to wipe out their crops.
Oh. But where did they come from?
I thought they just lived at the garbage dump.
Right.
Oh, God, just saying that word just brought back that smell of the garbage dump. Isn't that weird?
It is weird. Brain's a weird fucking thing, man.
Okay, and I have one more. The first ever Kentucky Fried Chicken was not in Kentucky, but it was in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Nice.
The iconic fried chicken recipe was first served in the cafe of Colonel Sanders' friend and Utah native, Leon W. Harmon. I think I knew this, too. It was in Roy or something. No, I guess it was in Salt Lake. Anyway, I have a lot more fun facts, but I don't want to blow my load right here on the 69 plus 1th episode.
I'm actually shocked that it wasn't a southern state.
Right?
Or am I not shocked? Because, anybody from the South would spit at you if you said, let's get some Kentucky Fried Chicken.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
Oh, excellent. So it's been a few episodes since we have done our pairing game, where we pick one of the Mormon cook trails. I can talk too. I haven't even really started drinking yet. The Mormon Trail cookbook, and the other person has to pair a drink with it.
Mm-hmm. I'm ready.
So, this is called Baked Earth Dried Apple Pie.
I don't like it. Veto.
Soak 2 cups of dried apples in water overnight. Well, what's the point of drying them if you're just going to rehydrate them?
I was
my initial thought. And then I didn't bother to read on because I thought, well, that's stupid. Let's go with that. So then we have to drain off the water, mix apples with a 1/2 cup of sugar, and a 1/2 teaspoon each. I don't know why I would say each. 1/2 teaspoon each of allspice and cinnamon.
Oh, 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon.
Got it, yeah. Okay. Line an 8-inch pan with a crust. Add the apple mixture. Dot with 3 tablespoons of butter and cover with a second crust. Make a few slashes on the top for ventilation. Bake at 350. Well, how do you bake at 350 if you don't have an oven? Because you're on the Mormon Trail. But whatever. For about 1 hour until the crust is golden brown.
You put it in a Dutch oven. You bury it in the sweet earth.
Oh.
I don't know.
I like it, though. It makes a little bit more sense. for baked earth dried apple pie.
Yeah. I was like, so this is just an apple pie, but with dried apples instead of regular
fresh
apples.
Apples, which is fucking dumb.
Veto. I veto this recipe.
Fine. I gotta just come up with something on the fucking, I was gonna say lamb chops. Lone tree lamb chops.
No, I'll stick with the sweet earth apple pie, thank you. And I will pair that with a nice glass of shut the hell up. A nice warm glass of shut the hell up.
You're such a dick.
Okay, how about...
Well, we know it's whiskey. You're pairing it with whiskey, because that's what it would go with. It would go with some Rutherford Reserve whiskey. You're welcome.
It sounds like we're drunk, and we haven't even really been drinking.
I've had 4 sips of whiskey and half a glass of red wine. But I have some cool shit I want to talk about.
Ooh, let's hear it.
And actually, to be fair, you already know about it because you're the one who told me about it. Picture it. Netflix. Midnight Mass.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, so good. So it is the guy, Mike Flanagan, I believe is his name, and he did Haunting on Hill House, or Haunting of Hill House, and then The Haunting of Bly Mansion or some shit, which I really liked the Hill House one. That was great. Second one, I actually didn't finish it. You watched it without me. Rude.
Yeah, The Haunting of Bly Manor.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you were just like, it was just so I didn't finish it.
Right.
But Midnight Mass, I had no idea that they were connected at all, and you're like, you should really watch it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to, I guess, because I'm watching Deadwood and I'm getting kind of bored with it.
I didn't know they were connected either.
Right? No, my client told me about it, actually. She was like, oh yeah, Mike Flanagan, likes to poke fun at religion when he can. And I'm like, I like it. And then I was like, wait, who's Mike Flanagan? And then she's like, oh yeah, the guy who did the other one. So this is like season 3, only they're not at all connected. I'm like, very cool. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, it's rad. So I was kind of bored with like the first couple episodes. Not bored, but it just wasn't overly interesting. There's a lot of setup, right? But by like episode 4, you're like, wait, what?
I know.
Oh.
I know. I watched the whole thing, and then I came out and was like, you should watch this. And then I watched it again.
Totally.
With you.
I will probably watch it while you're at work tomorrow. Just to pick up all the things that I missed since I wasn't paying that close of attention. But yeah, and then my favorite part is like later when they're like reading like parts of the Bible and you're like, that makes a whole lot of sense. And that's all I'm going to say about that because I don't want to give anything away. Yeah. But it's awesome.
Yeah, you should watch it.
100%. 1,000%.
I was going to say also Squid Game.
Yeah, that's red too.
We're not finished with it. We're only on episode 6, I think. But here is we're going to give you a little inside tip, okay? You can't, it's automatically going to default to be dubbed in English. Don't do it. Turn that shit off.
Turn that garbage off.
Just get the subtitles. You're going to have to pay attention to the screen.
Which is better because you pay attention to the show.
Right.
Right? But whereas I look down at my phone all the time if I could just listen to it.
Right. But it's actually really good.
Right. Yeah. The dubbing is like, I cannot listen to some chick in Korean say babe. It's just not, but babe. I'm like, oh, good Lord, just stop with the American slang. It's not translating well.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's like the people who are dubbing the English, it's not
Sorry,
even...
that's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah, it's not
doesn't sound right.
Realistic. And it's not even words that, like, people would say, or, like, not even that, but it's, like, the emphasis on the, like, particular words is not correct, so it doesn't flow, and it just sounds really fucking annoying.
Right. And so if you watched Battle Royale, which is a really great movie, and you should watch that too, this is much like that. And if you haven't watched Battle Royale, watch that too, because it's freaking awesome.
Did you say frickin'?
It's freaking awesome.
It's because we've been talking about Utah so much, isn't it?
It's freaking rad.
God dang it.
Shut up. Oh, I have something else to tell you.
Tell me.
So Mandy and I got season passes to go to Disneyland, like we do. And Mandy went before I did, so she got the cool backpack, and like she made this adventure fun time pack. So it's a Disneyland backpack, which are kind of small. She put a charger in there, a neck fan to keep her cold in the hot summer sun. Now we're putting umbrellas in there. It's pretty cool. But
snacks.
She got the best backpack in the whole park. Like we were under the assumption that there are 2 Haunted Mansion backpacks. There's the blue one with the kind of the ghosts in the graveyard, which were cool, except for the ghosts looked like those bobbleheads, so they weren't that cool. If they had been proper ghosts, I might have gone that direction. But Mandy got the black one with the purple, with the candelabra, and it was just rad.
Agreed.
So I bought it too. So I'm like, fuck you, bitch, we're gonna be twins.
Wait, you forgot the most important part about the adventure pack. The baby-sized Yeti.
Yes.
With the screw top that keeps a perfect 2 cocktails worth of drinks in your backpack. And here's a hot tip about Disneyland. They don't care but if you bring in liquid, so you can bring in your own cocktails and nobody gives a shit.
Do not ruin this for us by acting like a jackass. Not that our listeners would, but if someone randomly listening gets the bright idea, do not ruin this for us.
Exactly.
But the point of my story is we were talking about backpacks, because she has, I think, the Ariel one. I was like, oh, I thought about that one too.
Wait,
Little
who's
Mermaid.
she?
Oh, my client, I was talking to about Midnight Mass.
Got it.
And then she's like, yeah. She's like, then they've got ones that, like, don't even make any sense. Like, I love Hocus Pocus. And I couldn't even tell you that was a Hocus Pocus backpack unless I knew about it. I'm like, well, what does the Hocus Pocus one look like? I couldn't even imagine. Our backpack is a Hocus Pocus backpack.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't make it any less. You know, Hocus Pocus is an okay movie. It's all right. No, it's pretty good. But I was just like, damn it.
I've never seen Hocus Pocus.
It's worth watching. It's got Bette Midler in it. And, is Bette Midler?
Yeah. I can picture the I've seen,
I was like 12 or 13 when that came out. So it didn't have JTT in it, but it had, like, one of the JTT type.
Isn't it like Sarah
drops.
Jessica Parker?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's actually a good movie. A lot of people love it. Like, it's a pretty good movie, but we have a backpack over. But the backpack looks cool, and I'm going to keep thinking that it's a Haunted Mansion one.
Oh, good to know.
But anyways, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess. Is it? Or did you just ruin my dreams?
If I have to live with this, you have to live with this.
I guess I should watch Hocus Pocus.
Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. After I've rewatched Midnight Mass.
I have some news for you.
Oh, yeah?
Some hot takes from the California headlines.
Ooh.
Did you hear that a man in a full ninja outfit with a katana attacked an army and a group of like a special operations unit at an airport outside of LA? And it's only funny because nobody was seriously injured. A couple guys had to get stitches.
But he was seriously trying to attack them?
Yeah, he walked up to like the night watch person or somebody who was out smoking a cigarette or something, and he's like, do you know who I am? And the guy's like, no. Do you know what happened to my family? No. And then he starts fucking attacking him with a sword.
Jesus.
Right? So it's actually not really, I shouldn't be laughing about it, but it's just like, really, a guy with a sword attacked
somebody's
the army?
Clearly off of their meds. For those who can't see me, which is all of you, I'm sitting in silence with my arms crossed, just shaking my head slowly, going, yes. Are you fucking kidding me?
So there was that. That caught my eye. Also, have you ever heard of stealthing?
No.
Apparently it's a thing. It's basically the secret act of removing the condom during sex where the other partner doesn't know.
Rude.
That's what I thought too. When I read this, I was like, is that even a fucking thing? How rude. Apparently it is, in so much as that it's now been made illegal in the state of California. So if you're fucking somebody, they take the condom off without telling you, they can face charges.
How are you going to fucking prove that?
That's a great question, but it's been signed into law, so I guess we're going to find out as a community together.
Right. Well, I was just talking to somebody. I'm always talking to somebody about how there's these laws that mean well, right? And they go in to try and protect people, and then they just get taken advantage of or twisted. I don't see how this one could get twisted for wrong, but it's just how would you prove that? They'd have to admit to it, I guess. But that's interesting.
Or, I don't know, if you contracted... I'm imagining, like, a big thing, like if you contract AIDS or something.
Right. No, that makes sense.
Or, sexually transmitted disease, or if you become pregnant. You know, those
right.
things are provable.
Well, sometimes condoms break, so... You know, like, good luck. Just because you got pregnant doesn't mean that they did that. Like, I'm just saying, it would be real fucking hard to prove it.
Yeah, fair enough. Ooh, I got some news for you.
Okay.
It turns out that the the President Biden, the federal government has restored protection to some national forests.
Oh, hooray!
I know. Like Escalante and Bear's Ears.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember when fucking Trump was talking about drilling for oil or some bullshit out there. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Of course he is. I mean, why wouldn't he? Now he just needs to go protect the wolves again, right?
Yeah, it seems like every time there's a Republican in office, it's like they just fuck all this shit up, and then the Democrats spend their entire term getting it back to normal just in time for another Republican to get back in there and fuck it all up again. Ugh. It's so frustrating.
Well, but that's good news. At least they won't be fucking up national forests.
Right. Oh, and also, Biden just officially declared Indigenous Peoples Day.
Fabulous.
So while he didn't get rid of Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day will be alongside Columbus Day.
Now all he needs to do is voting day. I don't know what they'll call it, but they need to make it so voting is a national holiday and everybody has the day off.
Yeah. But yeah, I was excited about that. And hopefully eventually Columbus Day will then shrink and go by the wayside, and Indigenous Peoples Day will just be the holiday that takes over. I can't imagine like how much backlash somebody would face for like just saying like, nope, we're getting rid of Columbus Day and now it's Indigenous Peoples Day.
Right. I mean, so everybody's going to be mad about something. They always are. But
that's a big one. That's been a national holiday since the
right.
inception of the fucking country.
Right. So it'd be nice to make that fuck off.
Right? Yeah, I thought that was cool.
That's awesome.
It's the first time a U.S. president has endorsed or recognized that. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Let's see. What else is on Twitter? Actually, this is pretty good. I just today learned about this website, ProPublica. They're an independent, non-profit newsroom, and they produce investigative journalism with moral force. That's right from their website. So they basically find the issues that they think are important, they dig into them, and shine a light on, like, abuses of power, betrayals of public trust, and they don't let those stories die until they come to a resolution.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, so there's this one, Ken Armstrong, he's on Twitter. His handle is @byKenArmstrong, BYKEN Armstrong. So he's posting this story. It's a whole thread on Twitter, and it basically starts with 3 police officers went into an elementary school in Tennessee and arrested 4 black girls. And I was like, that sounds like something I want to read about. And so that's where, basically going through this whole thread, which I'm going to read to you, I found out that he is one of the journalists for this website called ProPublica.org, which, if you guys haven't checked it out, it's actually pretty cool, and it's obviously, there's no advertising, there's no funding, it's just a bunch of people who are nonpartisan and doing the best that they can to report on stories that are important.
ProPublica, so like the public, yeah. ProPublica.
Yeah, ProPublica.org. So anyway, the story that he's highlighting is actually a story that we were talking about this, we remembered from a few years back.
Right.
And so he talks about, I'm just going to kind of read you the thread. So 3 police officers go into an elementary school, and remember, elementary school students are 5 to 10 years old.
Right.
Right? They go in Tennessee, and they arrest 4 black girls. 1 girl falls to her knees, another threw up. Police handcuffed the youngest, an 8-year-old girl with pigtails. They handcuffed her at school. Their supposed crime, ? Watching some boys fight and not stopping them. Okay, so you're like, what the fuck? The police wound up arresting 11 kids in total, using a charge they called, quote, criminal responsibility. The arrests created outrage. State lawmakers called the case unconscionable, inexcusable, and insane. So how did this happen? These arrests took place in Rutherford County, which had been illegally jailing kids for years, all under the watch of Judge Donna Scott Davenport. Donna Scott Davenport is the only elected juvenile court judge the county has ever had. She oversees the courts. She oversees the juvenile jail. She directed police on what she called, quote, our process for arresting children.
Wow.
I know, right? So they take this woman to court, right? And during the court deposition, a lawyer asks her about taking the bar exam. She's a judge, right?
Right,
so she has to have taken the bar exam. You have to be a lawyer before you can be a judge.
Correct.
So, basically, she explains it. It took her 9 years and 5 attempts to pass the bar in Tennessee. Almost a decade, right?
Right.
She fails. So it's once every 2 years she takes the bar and fails for a decade. Okay?
So somebody you clearly want in a position of power.
Yeah. And then 3 years after she finally passed the bar and got her law license, she was on the bench. 3 years. This is her, by the way.
Oh yeah, she looks like a real cunt.
Yeah, she certainly is a real fucking cunt. She describes her work as a calling. She says, quote, "I'm here on a mission. It's God's mission."
To make money off the backs of children.
Yeah. Well, we haven't gotten to that part yet.
Oh, sorry. I'm jumping ahead.
Well, you're on the right track. She says children must have consequences. She encourages parents to use drug testing kits on their kids. And she says, quote, "Don't buy them at the dollar store or the Dollar Tree. The best ones are at your reputable drugstores." So under this woman, Davenport, Rutherford County locked up a staggering 48% of children whose cases were referred to the juvenile court. And just to put that in perspective, the statewide average is about 5%.
Wow.
So of all the cases of kids that go to court, generally about 5% are actually locked up. In Rutherford County, half of those cases, the kids are locked up.
I wonder which ones are people of color. Or, sorry, children of color, I should just say, because they're children.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So then it goes on to say a woman named Lynn Duke. She was appointed by Davenport as the county's head jailer. And the state of Tennessee narrowly limits when kids can be locked up, but Duke had her own way, which she called the, quote, filter system. Her jail locked up any kid deemed to be a, quote, true threat. As for what's considered a true threat, her handbook doesn't say.
Of course not.
So it's just up to her own judgment, I suppose. So this is from this court case as well. So there's a videotaped deposition. Lynn Duke, the jailer, was asked when the filter system was applied. And she said, quote, "It depends on the situation." And she said that repeatedly. And a lawyer asked her, "Is it your policy or not?" This is her answer. "No. Yes. It is a policy to use it when necessary."
Right.
This is her.
Oh, yeah.
That's her.
She's a real peach.
She looks like a peach. I mean, she's round just like a peach with fuzzy hair. Okay, sorry. We shouldn't mock someone's appearance just because they're a horrible fucking monster.
Right. You can be the prettiest person in the world and be a fucking monster inside.
True.
The ugliest person ever.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Continuing on, the jailer, Duke, she reports monthly to county commissioners who liken the jail to a business, and they ask often about the number of beds filled. One commissioner says, "Just like a hotel."
Right, of course.
In this video. "With breakfast provided, and it's not a continental," says a second. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's a commercial that they made for it that's real fucking terrible, and it actually kind of reminded me of the commercial that we made last week with the fetal heartbeat law.
Oh yeah, is that the what can Rutherford County do for you?
Your juvenile delinquent. They didn't say juvenile delinquents. It was something like. Anyways, it was just like I watched it and I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
At first, I'm like, "How is this is not funny?" Oh, it's not funny because it's fucking real.
Yeah, we should post that on our social media. Okay, so going on with this story. So there was a police officer who investigated this fight at school, which the kids got arrested for. The 8-year-old girl got handcuffed at school for witnessing, right? The police officer who investigated this, her name was Crystal Templeton. She wanted to charge every kid who watched, and she believed charging them with this crime was helping them, according to her. I don't fucking believe that shit at all.
Right.
By the time of this investigation, Templeton had been disciplined at least 37 times, her personnel file shows. So, the police officer, Crystal Templeton, had been disciplined at least 37 times before this incident. To arrive at a charge, Templeton met with 2 judicial commissioners. In Rutherford County, these commissioners wield great legal power. They can issue warrants, they can set bail, they can conduct probable cause hearings, all without needing any sort of law degree. How do you get on this judicial commissioner bandwagon? I don't know.
Right.
One commissioner, who used to work in the post office, came up with a charge of, quote, criminal responsibility for the conduct of another, unquote. Let me read that again. The charge is criminal responsibility for the conduct of another. So the problem with that is there's no such a charge. That doesn't exist. The kids were charged with a crime that doesn't exist. They just made that shit up and charged them. Because they're 8 years old, they can't fucking fight back.
Of course, right. And I'm sure their family can't afford lawyers.
Exactly. So, I know, I'm going to keep going on. Of the 11 kids, this is still Ken Armstrong's thread on Twitter.
Right.
Of the 11 kids arrested in this case, 4 wound up being jailed under this filter system. The filter system is illegal,
right?
Yet it was written into the jail's standard operating procedures for 9 years. The Tennessee Department of Children's Services licenses juvenile jails. It inspected Rutherford County's jail every year. Not once did it flag this filter system. They wrote things like, this is the Department of Children's Services. They wrote things like, there's very little graffiti, neat and clean, but they never mentioned anything about this filter system that's in the SOP to operate the jail, which is fucking crazy. The county's illegal jailing of kids came to a stop only when a federal judge ordered an end to this filter system. But the county is still jailing lots of kids. Listen to this. When it was forced to stop jailing so many of its own kids from its own county, Rutherford County ramped up its pitch to detain kids from other places, and they charge $175 a day for each kid they jail. And then he talks about his sources. He talks about they filed 56 public records requests, 38 hours of audio tape interviews, basically just in the spirit of being transparent about where they get their information, which I really fucking love.
Right.
You would never see Fox News or even CNN, to be perfectly honest, doing anything like that.
Like I say, when I first read about this, I want to say it was 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, in a People magazine, which I was like, this is weird for a People magazine. But yeah, it was pretty much saying that she was getting a kickback from the facility, so she got paid for every child. And actually, I don't know if it was even this case or a different case, but this is something that's happening where judges are getting kickbacks for jailing children. And so, of course, they're going to keep doing it. They're making money off of it.
Well, that's the whole prison system in general. It's a little more outrageous when it's kids, but...
Well, no, I mean, like, I'm a judge. I'm literally getting a percentage for every child that I jail. Not the county, not the thing. I'm personally getting a kickback.
Got it.
And that's what I read in the People magazine, and I'm not sure if that's exactly the same. But if it's not the same, that means it's just happening everywhere, right?
Right.
But yeah, no, you're right. As far as the jail system goes, you know, they make money by having them do either labor or things like that. And when they institutionalize them to the point that they can't get out, even when they get released, they're going to have some super stupid minor infraction that's going to put them right back into it. It's our whole correction systems is garbage. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just children and making a percentage profit off of it is fucked.
Yeah, it's so fucked. So, yeah, that's going on.
So that's fun.
I was like, Jesus, but I'm glad that I found ProPublica because I'm going to pay more attention to that.
Right. That's excellent.
Publication.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. It's a good one to pay attention to. I think that we should probably take a break. Hear a word from our sponsors.
Fabulous. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
You're still here?
Hey, awesome.
Wow.
You stayed for the stories.
I have like a ton of really short snippet stories that I'm not sure how to make into their own long episode. So I thought maybe this could be where, I don't know, we just talk about random shit that's too short but still funny.
Okay.
I was writing down all these stupid memories of like remembering what it was like growing up in Utah, and I don't know if it would even be interesting to people or not, but it's like, I mean, stupid shit like drinking water from the ditch.
Oh my god, I totally remember drinking water because it tasted so clean because it was so cold. But that's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it was like the irrigation
in a gutter.
Yeah, the irrigation and we were like we had the river that went right through.
Right.
But yeah, and I'm sure that's where the irrigation water came from, because then you have the canal off the river.
Sometimes it was full and sometimes it wasn't. But it's a road, so it's just dirty.
Yeah.
Ew.
And we would just sit there and like scoop water out and drink water out of the ditch.
Forgot about that.
I have that one. There were so many fucking cats, feral cats. That's like a lot of my memories of being a kid in Logan is like, it's like going into abandoned houses and finding feral cats and bringing them home.
Oh God, they let you bring them home? I'm shocked.
Well, the mom would scatter, you know, when the kids would come in, and the mom cat.
Right.
And so then you would just take her kittens.
Oh.
And then of course, like once you touch the kittens, the mom won't take care of them anymore because they smell like humans. Or at least that's what I was told.
Yeah, I was going to say, they say that about birds too. Not true.
Interesting. Questioning my whole reality. My childhood was filled with just multitudes of feral kittens. In fact, not feral kittens, but remember our cat Madface?
Yes.
So there was one time when she had kittens, and down in our food storage cellar,
right,
in the basement of the house in Logan, she had her kittens on the top shelf of the food storage pantry, and one of the kittens, I can't remember how many there were, but two of the kittens had fallen down, and one of them had died, and the other one, when I found him, one was dead, and the other one was cold, really cold, but it was still alive. And so I remember wrapping that kitten up, putting it in front of the heat vent that we used to throw crayons and shit down.
Yes.
And then feeding it water out of a little dropper and warming it up, and actually that cat lived.
Oh, nice.
But I'll never forget picking up that cold baby kitten body and trying to get it to be alive.
Bad Madface for not going down to getting her kitten.
Yeah, I don't know. There was a bunch more that she was taking care of up on the top shelf, but those two had fallen.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah, that was a story. I also have this memory, this was long before you were born, but I have this memory of all of us kids playing in a car. It was a blue car. And why you would let your fucking kids just use the family car, as a playground with no adult supervision is baffling to me. But it was in the early 80s, and so it was at least I think it was probably me, Casey, Kelly, and Tiffany at the time, and climbing up back and forth over the seats, and our driveway was kind of slanted upwards a little bit, and so the car's parked in face first, and we're climbing around over the seats playing whatever we're playing, and Casey kicks the gear shift and puts the car in neutral, and the car rolls out of the driveway across the street.
Shit.
Onto the next door the across the street neighbor's house. And I just so many fucking terrible things could have happened that I just remember mom running out, seeing the car across the street, and all the kids are playing in the car.
Well, that was fun.
We're wee. No, at the time we knew, we were or at least I remember looking at Casey and Casey looking back at me oh shit, right, before we had the vocabulary to know how to say oh shit. And we were just oh my God, this is bad. This is so bad.
Yeah. I don't remember any of that, but I want to say it was Terry's sister or brother. We were out visiting them on their farm, and they asked if I wanted to milk a cow, and I was no. So Laurie did. And I was I want nothing to do with that. They brought the milk in, and we had it with cereal, and it was so gross because you're just not used to it. And I don't think it was cold. I think it was from the udder, and it's fuck you. And there was flies fucking everywhere. They were making pancakes, and I'm are there gonna be flies in my pancakes? This was not shit I was used to. I'm about 8 years old. I live in California. I've never been on a fucking farm before. I remember getting back to Dad's house, and Dad still lived on not 4th North, but downtown. Mm-hmm. And we had to get treated for lice, even though we didn't have it yet, but all the other kids had chicken lice. I say that in quotations because I don't think that's a real thing. Their kids had lice. I'm oh, well, they were out playing with the chickens, and there's chicken lice, so you better treat your kids just to make sure.
Interesting. I don't remember that.
But yeah, no, I've never seen those people before or again. So I'm just where did you leave me, and how did I get there? I don't remember showing up there, but I remember thinking, it was breakfast time, and I wanted to get the fuck home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the reason I was thinking it might have been Terry's parents' house is because I know they lived on a farm, And the reason I remember it so vividly is because one Thanksgiving we were out there having Thanksgiving dinner, and I looked out the window to see a cow being slaughtered.
Oh, Jesus.
Like its neck cut, and it looked just like your fucking wine decanter. It was horrifying, and I was just like, oh my God.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. Farm life is not for me.
No. Gross. But I remember thinking that it tastes like farm, which is manure and grass. Oh, God damn it. Yeah, no, fuck farms. Reminds me of the time, Grandma used to have us, instead of like writing in journals, she'd have us do like audio journals with her tape recorder.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so there was one she had me listen to one time because she's like, oh, you never really got to hang out. Like, she didn't use those words, but you weren't around that often because I lived in California. And she's like, I think I've got some tapes with your voice on it so we could go back and re-listen to them. And when I was like 15, we were listening to them. So I think I was probably 7 because I definitely had like, not a list, but I was like, sounded like a small child with not enunciating, which turns out I never grew out of. And, I talked about the time the cow pooped on, and I was like, we were talking about, like, it was really fun. We got to go to the candy store and get shaved ice, and then a cow pooped on me. And it's like, oh, I swear it got in my mouth.
You said that on the tape?
Yeah. And I was just like, Grandma. She's like, oh, I don't think it pooped on. I was like, what was I doing underneath the cow's butt? And she's like, no, you were walking past, and it was pooping, and it splashed on you. And I'm like, gross.
Oh, you know what else I remember about growing up in Utah? Speaking of cows pooping on you. Icicles.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you would try to knock the icicles down. I have one memory of when I was probably about 10 or 11, and I had knocked an icicle down with a rock, and I felt something like hit my head, and I was like, oh shit, I better not do that. Like, an icicle could hit me in the head and, hurt me. So I'd better stop throwing rocks at the icicles. And I came home and, took off my scarf, took off my coat, my gloves and everything. And I bent over to take my boots off. And I looked at my shirt and it was just covered in blood. Because apparently that small thing that I had felt on my head was like the icicle bouncing off the ground and up onto my head and like cutting my head open.
Oh, Jesus.
And you couldn't really tell because it's cold outside.
Right. And head wounds, they don't hurt, but they bleed a lot.
Exactly.
Dummy. You'll shoot your eye out.
1000%.
Yeah, so that when you said icicles, like, yeah, icicles, I would break them off and then suck on them like a popsicle, not really remembering that all the shit from the roof, like, it's just accumulated garbage that's frozen. And it's so gross.
Totally gross. It's like drinking ditch water.
Well, it turns out that's something we did. Our immune systems are great, though. Yeah, the other disgusting thing I did was in Mission Viejo. We had the same thing. It's runoff water that would go down into the glen, but I would love to go catch frogs. And I would straight up go swimming in that water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Gross.
And, I'm sure I'm sure I swallowed some, but I didn't realize it's like sewage water, kind of. Like, it's just gross.
Yeah.
So, again, awesome immune systems.
Do you remember, speaking of growing up in Logan stories, do you remember playing war with the whole neighborhood? Or was
Vaguely.
or were you too young for that? Because it was when we had the big garden behind our
rocks
house.
at people?
No.
Okay.
It was, so we had that big garden. So now it's like Dad sold off the property little by little.
Right.
But before it's like our house and our property used to go halfway through the city block, which was a huge amount of property. I don't know, I don't know what you'd call it, an acre, or what, how much an acre even is.
But to be downtown, that's a huge plot of land. Yeah.
There was plum trees. There was tons of rhubarb, squash. It was a big, huge garden.
Right.
And so we had the neighbors across the street. We had our neighbors around the corner, and we were all pretty tight growing up, all the way through growing up. And we would play war, and we would take the garden had so much food in it that you couldn't possibly harvest it all. Or at least we didn't. It just would grow and then rot into the ground. And so we would take these huge zucchini squashes, and then we would like scoop them out and stuff them with like rotting tomatoes, and we'd stuff them with rotting plums and any kind of like gross food that was in the garden. We would make bombs and throw them at each other and play war. And back in the day, we used to be able to cut through the garden over to our over to Troy and Ryan and Jamie's house.
Right.
And there was like a clear path through the garden where we could basically just cut and go to each other's houses. And then before that was all sold and turned into houses or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, that was like enemy lines was like their house was one side and our house was the other.
Where were you guys' parents?
I don't. That's a really good question.
I remember spending the night at Jamie's house once, and like we'd watch The Last Unicorn, because Tiffany and Jamie were friends, right? And I was just the little sister who had to kind of hang out. But they put their trampoline kind of next to the house, and we would put every sleeping bag or pillow or blanket we could on that trampoline. We would go up into their attic, crawl out the window, and jump onto that trampoline. How we didn't break all of our fucking bones is beyond me.
Yep, we would do that too. We would do that on our garage. We put the
I still do it
trampoline
with
up.
the trampoline, yeah.
Yep.
But this one was so tall that if you hadn't had those blankets and stuff on it, because you would go so far down, you'd hit the ground with it. Because we're like, I want to say they had a 2-story house and we were in the attic, so like it's like 2.5 stories up.
Yeah.
So stupid. But yeah, I definitely remember jumping off of all the time. I would jump off that garage roof because that's just fun.
Yeah. Onto the tramp.
Yep, on the tramp.
Let's see. I don't know if this is even funny or interesting, but I was remembering this memory of going to church, being in church as a kid, and I was forced to perform in a play that I did not want to do. And to the point where they were having us audition, and I'm saying that in quotes, and it was like me and Casey and Kelly probably, and like Tiffany was too little, but just a bunch of kids who obviously didn't want to fucking be there. And they were making us audition, and you know, you had to sing a song in order to try to get the lead role. And I was not paying attention. I didn't give a shit. I was just like doing whatever. If I had a phone, I would have been on it. Obviously, this is before the internet.
Right.
Just so weird to say. But so they're like, okay, Manny, what's your song? What are you going to sing? And I was like, I don't have anything to sing. I do not care. Which, if you know me now, you're like, oh my God, give that girl a mic. She'll fucking give her a mic and a shot of tequila. She'll sing your pants off.
Give that little baby girl a mic and a shot of tequila. She'll sing Jesus Wants Me for a Sunbeam like nobody's business.
Exactly. But yeah, I was just like, I don't care. I don't care about this. I don't want to be in your play. I don't want to be here. I don't want to sing a song for you. And they were like, well, just sing Happy Birthday. And so like I remember this very clearly, in the most like deadpan
monotone,
like happy birthday to you, you know, whatever. And they're like, you got it, you got the lead. And I was like, oh my God, I hate you, I hate everyone, I don't want to be here. And so the play, I don't know what they were calling it, but it was the movie Mermaids with Cher.
Yeah,
and
like Winona Ryder.
Yeah, it was like a version of that. And the only reason I remember it, because this is the only thing I remember about that play, was I had to sing this song that it was like, it's that song. It's like, if you want to know if he loves you so, it's in his kiss. It's that song, but they changed the lyrics to be like, if you want to know if this guy's a schmo, listen to this. To make it like Mormon-ish, I guess. You didn't talk about kissing.
God forbid.
If you want to know if this guy's a schmo, listen to this. Listen to this. Ooh. Anyway, that was traumatizing, and I can't believe I just brought it back up.
I am trying to now think of the rest of the lyrics to that song to see what they would also have to change, because it's, you know.
Yeah, it was nothing about a man and a woman at all. It was, if this guy was bad, you would know. Somehow.
Does he give you pot? Don't do it.
Listeners, if you had to perform a play such as the one I'm describing, and you have any further details, please reach out to us at fhebadmormons@gmail.com, because I'm dying to know what that stupid fucking play was about. And I refuse to ask my stepmother, who would know because she was the casting director.
You got the lead, Mandy. You're going to be a star.
Yeah, she's not the one who actually gave me the lead, but I do remember her putting together costumes. She was putting eyeliner on me, mascara on me. I don't know. It was very traumatic and terrifying.
It sounds god-awful.
Yeah.
I would have killed to be in it.
Utah, what a fucking weird place.
What a weird place.
Hey, let me take you out. I feel like we're getting to the end of this one.
Yeah, I'm out of memories.
Let me take you out on a little note. I don't know if you remember the ZCMI.
ZCMI, no.
It was a department store in the mall, or the hall, as we like to call it. Turns out, ZCMI, which, I used to shoplift from, is actually the nation's first department store. Brigham Young founded the Zion's Cooperative Mercantile Institution in 1868, and it lasted all the way through until 1999 when it was sold to Macy's.
Oh.
So back in the day when I was a kid, that Macy's used to be called ZCMI.
Okay.
And we would steal stuff from them.
I never stole in Utah.
Just kidding. I never stole from them. Turns out I'm still a Mormon, and this is all just a dream.
I'm good.
A lucid.
Gonna get my glow-in-the-dark CTC. God damn it. Choose the right.
CTR.
CTR ring. Like ZZ Top ring.
They make those glow in the dark?
They better. If they don't, we should make some.
I wonder how you can buy a CTR ring.
You can. I've looked it up because I was like, I'm going to start wearing a CTR ring again because I think it'd be really fucking funny.
And it stands for clearly total recall.
Chance to rock. Now, castrate the racists.
I like that. Castrate the Racists.
Yeah, write
it down. That'll be our next design on our merch store, which you can find
on
ProPublica.
There you go. Or you can find links to that on our link tree,
which is on all of our social medias.
You can also go to fhebadmormon.com.
Check out our website. But what we really want you to do is we really need some reviews on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah!
We need ratings and we need reviews and we need you to do it for us.
You'll be my best friend.
We're also on Patreon,
YouTube. Oh yeah, thanks patrons. You guys are the best.
We didn't say it at the top, but you know we love you.
For realsies.
For reals.
YouTube.
Check out our YouTube.
MySpace.
And that's our show this week. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we will.